Level 1. 0. You don't want to be on camera. This is not shyness exactly. It is the specific discomfort of a person who has something to say and does not want the saying of it to be about their face. You have watched enough YouTube to know that the face becomes the thing. The face becomes the brand. The face gets recognized at the grocery store and photographed without consent and commented on by strangers in ways that have nothing to do with what was said. You don't want that. You want the work to be the thing. So you make a decision. No face, just the work. You spend 2 weeks figuring out what faceless even means for the kind of content you want to make. Screen recordings, voiceover, animated text, stock footage with narration. You land on a combination that feels right. Your voice over visuals that serve the content rather than the person delivering it. You record your first video. Your voice sounds wrong, not bad, wrong in the way your voice always sounds wrong when you hear it recorded. Everyone's voice sounds wrong recorded. You upload it anyway. 7 views. 3 days later, 7. You make another one. 12 views. You tell yourself, this is how it starts. This is how it starts. Level 2. Invisible. 50 subscribers. It took 3 months. You made 11 videos. You know every subscriber by their username because there are 50 of them and you read every notification. You are learning things. Not from courses, from watching what the 50 people respond to. 2 of your 11 videos got almost no views. 1 of them got 400. 400 feels enormous when your baseline is 12. You study the 400-view video. You study it the way a detective studies evidence. The thumbnail was different. The first 30 seconds moved faster. The topic was more specific. You make your next video more specific. It gets 300 views. You make the one after that more specific still. 200 views. The specificity is not the only variable. You are learning that you have to hold multiple variables simultaneously and that changing only one at a time would be the correct scientific method, but you are not a scientist, and you are too impatient, and the algorithm does not wait for you to run controlled experiments. You keep making videos. You keep watching what happens. You tell no one you were doing this. Not from embarrassment. From the specific privacy of doing something you care about before anyone else's opinion of it can interfere with the caring. Level 3. The voice. You cross 100 subscribers. It feels like nothing externally. Internally, it feels like something. 100 people who don't know your face chose to subscribe to what you make. The anonymity is working. People are responding to the voice, not your voice as a personality, your voice as a perspective, the point of view that comes through the voiceover, the way you explain things, the way you structure the information, the way you pause before the point instead of after it. You find your audio rhythm around this time. You didn't have one before. Before, you were just talking. Now you are performing the talking in the specific way that works for the medium. The rhythm is slower than you speak in real life, more deliberate, with the specific pace that lets the listener follow without effort. You start getting comments, not many, but real ones. Someone says your explanation of something was the clearest they had heard it explained. You read this 3 times, then you go film the next video. The faceless format is finding its form. Level 4. The thumbnail problem. 500 subscribers. You have a thumbnail problem. Every faceless channel has a thumbnail problem at some point. The thumbnail problem is this. Faces perform better on thumbnails. The data is unambiguous. Human faces draw the eye. The brain is wired to look at faces before it looks at anything else. You have no face. You have to make the thumbnail work without the thing thumbnails work best with. You spend a week studying faceless channels that are growing. You notice the pattern. The best thumbnails communicate a feeling rather than a fact. They create a question the video promises to answer. They use color with intention, text that is short enough to read in a glance, a visual that creates tension. You redesign all your thumbnails. Your existing videos start getting recommended more, not because the videos changed, because the door changed. The thumbnail is the door. You had been building rooms that people couldn't find the entrance to. Now the entrance is visible. People walk in. Level 5. The niche. 1,000 subscribers. 8 months in. You have accidentally found your niche. Not through planning, through repetition. You made videos about several different things in the first 6 months. 3 of them kept performing. The rest flatlined. You looked at the 3. They were related. Not obviously, but structurally. They all addressed the same underlying question from different angles. You had been circling your actual niche for 8 months without knowing it. You stop circling. You go straight at it. Every video now is a direct approach to the thing you are actually most qualified to talk about. The channel finds a different gear. Not faster exactly, more efficient. The right people are finding it now. People who specifically want the specific thing. They stay longer. They comment more. They subscribe and then actually watch the next video instead of subscribing and disappearing. The retention numbers in your analytics change. People are watching longer. The algorithm sees this. The algorithm rewards this. A video hits 4,000 views. You are still anonymous. 4,000 people heard your voice and never saw your face and came back for more. This is the validation you needed. Level 6. The consistency tax. 10,000 subscribers. You found out on a Tuesday and went back to work on Wednesday. The consistency tax is what you owe for the number. The consistency tax is that you cannot stop. Not because the algorithm punishes gaps, because an audience is a relationship, and relationships require showing up. You built this by showing up. You maintain it the same way. This is harder than it sounds. The motivation that carried you from 0 to 1,000 was hunger, pure, forward-moving hunger. The motivation from 10,000 onward is discipline. Hunger feels good. Discipline feels like work. You do the work. Some weeks you film when you don't want to film. Some weeks the video is not your best. You post it anyway. Because a good video posted is worth more than a great video that is still being refined when your audience has moved on. You learn the difference between perfectionism that improves the work and perfectionism that is fear wearing the mask of quality. You post the imperfect video. The imperfect video gets 30,000 views. Your best video in terms of production gets 9,000. You stop confusing production quality with value to the viewer. Level 7. The Faceless brand. 50,000 subscribers. You have a brand now even though you have no face. The brand is the voice, the color palette of your thumbnails, the specific way you open every video, the specific phrase you use to close it. These things are consistent enough that a viewer who stumbled onto your channel for the first time could watch 2 videos and understand what you are. Not who you are, what you are. What you make. What it feels like to watch it. The faceless format has stopped being a limitation. It has become a characteristic. People describe your channel to other people without mentioning a face. They say the voice. They say the style. They say the one that explains things in that way. That way is the brand. You made it accidentally through consistency. You maintain it intentionally now. You understand something important at this level. The face would have been a ceiling. People would have followed you, the person. Instead, they follow the work. The work can outlast you. The face cannot outlast you. You made the right choice. Level 8. The moment. A video goes different. Not bigger than your usual numbers. Different. It finds a room it wasn't supposed to find. Someone with a large platform shares it. Not in your niche, in a different niche entirely. The video was not made for that audience. It works for that audience anyway, because good explanation works for everyone. Because clarity is not niche specific. 200,000 views in 4 days. You gain 11,000 subscribers in a week. You read every comment. You cannot respond to every comment. You respond to the ones that ask real questions. The influx of new subscribers creates attention. Your existing audience knows your work. They chose it. The new audience is discovering it. They need onboarding. You make a video that serves as the onboarding. Not explicitly. You frame it as your best explanation of the central question your channel addresses. The existing audience loves it. The new audience stays. The algorithm keeps pushing it. You wake up every morning for 2 weeks to notifications. Then the wave settles. You still have the 11,000 new subscribers. You make the next video like the 11,000 aren't there. Same voice, same style, same deliberate pace before the point. The 11,000 stay. Level 9. The architecture. 250,000 subscribers. You cannot do this alone anymore. Not the ideas. The ideas are still yours alone. The execution. You bring in an editor. The editor takes the raw voiceover and footage and does something to it that you were only approximating by yourself. The pacing gets sharper. The cuts are more deliberate. The finished product looks like what you always intended it to look like. You hire a thumbnail designer. Your click-through rate improves. You bring in someone to handle the comments on your behalf, not to respond as you, to flag the ones that deserve your response. You still respond in your own words, you just now respond to the right ones. You still have no face on the channel. The team behind the channel is invisible too. The channel feels exactly like it felt when it was one person. That is the goal. The goal of scaling a faceless channel is to scale the quality without scaling the presence. The presence is the voice. The voice is still yours. Everything else can be distributed. The voice cannot be. This is your moat, the thing that cannot be replicated or hired. You protect it. Level 10. 1 million. You find out on a Thursday afternoon. Your editor texts you the screenshot. 1 million subscribers. 1 million people who never saw your face, who never will, who chose the work over the person because the work was all you gave them. You sit with this for a long time. You think about the first video, the voice that sounded wrong, the 7 views, the 2 weeks figuring out what faceless meant, the thumbnail problem, the accidental niche, the consistency tax, the wave that brought 11,000 strangers. You think about every video, the ones that didn't work, the ones that quietly built the thing. There is no face associated with this channel. There is no person to congratulate in the photograph. There is no face in the news article if someone writes one. Just the work, just the voice, just the thing you made in the room by yourself for years. 1 million people found it, without ever finding you. This was the plan. The plan worked. You open a new document, you write the title of the next video, you press record. Your voice fills the room. Faceless. Present. Yours.